Hey family, what's good? This is your girl, I am the Bronze Goddess, and it's time for another strawberry letter. Hope that you guys have been enjoying Strawberry Letter Week here on my channel. I'm trying to do 5 strawberry letters in 5 days, so wish me luck. I'm doing my best to get this done. Also, if you guys have been enjoying these videos, be sure to thumbs up and subscribe, and be sure to hit that little bell right next to the subscribe button. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a video and be a part of the hashtag notification gang. Shout out to those of you who are already proud members, okay? Anyway, also if you love videos like this one, then be sure to pick up one of my books. The first one is called The Dating Game, How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right, and my second book is called Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. Both books are available on Amazon.com, Kindle, and BarnesandNoble.com. Alright, so without any further ado, let's get started with today's video. Let's go get 'em. Hey, I'm 27 years old and I've been with my husband for 9 years now. Well, dated for 7, married for 2. Anyhow, recently I discovered my husband has been spending a lot of time texting a young lady who works for the same company he does. I do not have a problem with him having female friends, but I do believe in boundaries when speaking to someone of the opposite sex. In the past, I have had problems with my husband understanding what boundaries are, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. A few years ago, before we got married, we were actually dating for 4 years then, I went through his phone and discovered he sent nude pics to a female and was actually working with this girl every day. He was her manager. Once I found out this information, I confronted him about it and we got into a huge fight. I forgave him for that situation because I felt me and him started dating in high school. We were young with no real experience with relationships, and my husband was raised sheltered. He was naive to a lot of things. For example, he doesn't see anything wrong with a female texting him any time of night, no matter who she is, and I have told him hundreds of times that's disrespectful to be texting or calling someone late at night knowing they're in a relationship. It's not an emergency, first of all, and what's so important at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning? This situation happened again a year later. To be quite honest, I wasn't nice about it, and that fight did get physical, but I wasn't the one hurt. Okay, in a nutshell, I'm in the same boat again with my husband texting other women, and I found this out by checking our phone records and called the number. He thinks it's fine and I should be okay with it because in his words, he loves me, he's not having sex with any other woman, and he tells him about me. He now knows that I know about the girl that he's been texting, and he went off on me saying nothing is good for me and that he never stepped out on me no matter what I think, and he wants a divorce. I told him to get the papers and I will sign it with no problem. I do not feel like I did anything wrong in the situation, and I have forgiven and fought for this relationship, and I'm ready to just give up on my marriage. I have prayed, I fought, I forgave, we went to counseling, and now what? I don't feel like what you're asking for is unreasonable in any way, because the Bible talks about staying away from even the appearance of evil. It looks bad. I feel like your husband has played the I'm naive, we were both in high school when we started dating, I don't know how to date, I don't know what to do. He's playing that card because you're allowing him to play that card. He's not that naive. If you think that all he's doing is talking to these women, then you too are naive. Because why would you give up your marriage for somebody who doesn't mean anything to you? I think it's more than that. I actually talk about this more in my second book. This is a guy who is like a ladies' man. He's got women all over the place. He's got his wife and he's got all these female friends. How come he can't find a male friend? How come he just wants to entertain these women? Especially with him being so quick to want to end your marriage. For what? I feel like there is a lot more to the situation than you even know. As soon as you found out about him talking to another woman, he wants to divorce you. I think that there's something there. You may never find out. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's going to confess his sins. He's one of those kind of guys you have to catch red-handed, and even then he will deflect. And I feel like that's what happened here. As soon as you say, what are you doing texting these women back and forth? What are you doing contacting these women? He wants to tell you, why don't you trust me? And then he wants to make the fight about trust. It's not about trust. You would have never had a reason to mistrust him if he never betrayed your trust in the first place. Either he has already stepped out or he's laying the groundwork to step out. I feel like you went into this entire situation with your eyes wide open. You knew he wasn't trustworthy. But I feel like because you already set the date and sent out the invitations and you already hired the preacher, you already booked the church and the caterer, I feel like you went through with it, but you knew you couldn't trust him. You knew you couldn't trust him before you got married. But you married him anyway. And that's the price that people pay when you marry someone. You get what you get. You don't alter a man at the altar. You guys have heard me say it a million times and it doesn't stop being true. You don't alter a man at the altar. You knew that he had some wandering eye type ways. You knew that he loved the ladies and he loves the attention of the ladies. It's not enough for him that his wife thinks he's amazing. It's not enough for him that his wife finds him sexy and attractive. He wants to know that he can still get it. He's one of those guys that want to know they still got it. Even if he is being faithful, it doesn't look good. And you should be enough. It's not you being insecure. It's about him going out of his way to make you insecure. Because why are you willing to risk what we have as a married couple for the sake of being able to communicate with some random girl? The reason is because she's not random. That's why he can risk it. Men always do this when they're not man enough to confess, when they're not man enough to stand and own it. They'll try to make it seem like it's something that you're doing. You can catch a man red-handed in bed with another woman, and he'll be yelling at you about what you doing coming home early. Like, who cares why I'm home early? Like, what are you doing? But why are you coming home early? Like, I always tell you to call me before you come home. Like, guys like that, it's so transparent. He's trying to distract you and deflect. I definitely feel like your husband wanted an out in this situation. Not all men are man enough to tell you when they no longer want to be in a relationship. So they'll set up different scenarios and they'll pick at you to make you the one, to make you the bad guy, so it can look like I tried everything I could and it just didn't work out. Instead of saying, I think we got married too young, and when, we got together when we were in high school, but we've outgrown each other, instead of being man enough to have that type of conversation with you, which is what I feel like was going on here, that he feels like he still wants to experience other women. He still wants to date. He feels like getting married to you so young has deprived him the opportunity to actually pursue other women. So he got married to you without really knowing what's out there. And now that he's married, he's trying to make up for lost time, but now it's too late. I really feel bad for you about the situation that you're in right now, because I really feel like you thought that you guys had what it took to have a forever and that you guys could be high school sweethearts that made it. But the reason why so many of them don't is because sometimes you outgrow your partner. Because the older you get, the things that you want change. When you're 18, you only want somebody who can drive, has a nice little job, not much, because what is he going to have at 18? Just a little bit of something, maybe has his own place or something like that. That's what you want. But then when you get older, maybe when you're in your late 20s, you may want somebody who's father material so that you can possibly think about having kids with them. You want them to have a stable job. They have to have their own place. And then when you're in your 30s, your late 30s, then they have to be ready to be married. They have to have one kid, no more than one kid, or whatever your requirements are. But the older you get, what you want from a mate changes. And I feel like it happened way too quick for him. I feel like he may think that he was deprived the opportunity to pursue other women and to really determine who he wanted. He may actually love you. He's doubting it because he feels like he never got an opportunity to see what's out there. And rather than being a man and tell you that's what's going on, he's just trying to do it at the same time. He wants to keep you there because just in case there really is nothing better out here. But he also wants to kind of look around a little bit. And once you said, I don't feel comfortable with you doing this, and he doesn't care, you have to make the decision for yourself. And like at this point, I don't know if you can prove infidelity or not, but it doesn't sound like he wants to be married. And especially if he's the one asking for a divorce, then I wouldn't contest it. If I were you, I wouldn't contest it. Because I couldn't be with somebody who's unsure about me. Because I'm sure about you. I stood in front of God and family and church and all of that, and I promised to be with you for richer, for poorer, for better or for worse. But I didn't say that I was going to be, going through my phone records. And I didn't say that I'd be willing to have you leave my marital bed at 1 o'clock in the morning to be texting and calling some other woman. My mother always told me that God always sends warning signs. And oftentimes when we're in love with someone, we overlook those warning signs, those red flags, those, first it starts as a whisper. Girl, that man right here. Girl, you better watch out for him. And you try to ignore it because you're in love and all you see is this guy is so dreamy, he's so amazing. And then the voice gets louder. Girl, you better watch out. And then the voice at some point starts screaming at you. And when you saw your soon-to-be husband sending nude pics to his employee, that was God screaming at you.
Don't do it. Reconsider. Read some letter.
Okay, stop. But still, God was trying to warn you. But when you go into something with your eyes wide shut, this is what happens. When you ask God to show you a sign, be prepared to do what you have to do when He shows it to you. if that meant that you had to cancel the caterer and cancel the church and uninvite the invited guests, it was worth it to save you this pain that you're dealing with now. You guys, when you're praying and asking God to show you all that you need to know about the person that you're dating, be prepared for what you see and know ahead of time, because if this is what I find out, I can't stay. God tried to warn you, but you ignored it. You got to realize that there is an advantage of being able to talk to God, because he knows the end from the beginning. So if he's telling you not him, I'm telling you not him, you got to trust him. Because when you don't, you end up in situations like this. Then it gets messy. God is always trying to protect you from this type of hurt. So let him protect you. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Be sure to thumbs up if you did. Also be sure to check out both of my books, The Dating Game, How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right, and Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. Both books available on Amazon.com, Kindle, and also BarnesandNoble.com. I'd really appreciate the support. Be sure to subscribe if you're brand new to my channel and you want to get more videos like this one. And if you're already a subscriber, be sure to hit that little bell next to the subscribe button and be a part of the notification gang. And I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new Strawberry Letter. Be sure to thumbs up if you guys have been enjoying Strawberry Letter Week here. 5 Strawberry Letters in 5 days. And I'll see you in the next one. Till next time, later divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.